Alberta's Justice Minister issued a joint statement with Alberta's Public Safety Minister, saying the province will not enforce what it calls a gun grab, and that they expect law enforcement to focus on violent criminals, not hunters and sport shooters.
Owners of assault-style weapons have one more year to dispose of them. The federal government initially proposed a gun buyback program that would be operated by the private sector. Saskatchewan doesn't want the RCMP participating in any way.
These firearms that we're talking about in Saskatchewan belong to legal firearms owners, and they're licensed, they're heavily vetted and monitored by the Firearms Office.
In short, you'll see that us and Saskatchewan are going to do whatever we can to make sure that we're defending firearms owners' rights. And I know we're coming up to a deadline here, so just have some patience, because we know how important that is. We just have a different approach we want to take in Alberta, and I think that is what the Constitution allows, and we'll see what the courts say about it.
Alberta and Saskatchewan, the last two provinces in Canada, still showing a little bit of common sense. While Ottawa wants to strip people of their rights, these provinces are standing firm and protecting the ability of citizens to own and use firearms. Not a coincidence either. Alberta and Saskatchewan also happen to have some of the highest levels of gun ownership in the whole country. And guess what? It's only climbing. In fact, in a previous video, we covered how Albertans were buying more firearms than ever before. And Saskatchewan's right there with them. Folks in these provinces are arming up like never before. And the timing? Pretty interesting, considering the growing talk of separating from Canada altogether. Let's get into it. Very quickly though, if you enjoy these videos, please do me a solid and subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later if you change your mind. Thank you, and back to the video.
Despite the government calling it voluntary, on the tech briefing for journalists, the bureaucrats made it very clear this is not voluntary. You will either hand over your gun to the government, you will have it destroyed on your own dime, or you will face criminal charges. You will be in violation of the law. There's no voluntary aspect of like, I just don't feel like participating. You have to participate in one of the ways or face up to 10 years in jail.
Make no mistake about it. What they want to do is confiscate each and every single firearm from law-abiding citizens. This is exactly what they're doing, and that's why crime is so out of control in Canada today, and Alberta is no exception. And then they say, well, it's voluntary. How can it be voluntary if you made my property that I purchased legally now illegal to possess? How is it voluntary if I am now in possession of illegal property? They're full of it. That's the answer.
The Liberal government's gun confiscation scheme. A scheme that by its very design only targets law-abiding gun owners, because, I don't have to tell you, Mr. Speaker, the criminals in this country are not the ones that will be lining up to turn over their illegal firearms to the government, regardless of whether there is any compensation. So what we have here is something that the government says will cost $750 million. Now, by the way, Liberal math, I believe you need to triple it and add 50% or something to get somewhere close to the real number. But even if we take at face value that this will cost $750 million, that is money that could be going towards beefing up law enforcement. That is money that could be going towards beefing up the border. We had, before the Standing Committee on Justice and Human Rights last week, police experts who were very candid, as well as candid as the Minister of Public Safety is when he doesn't know he's being recorded, in saying that there will be zero effect, not minimal, zero effect on gun crime when this gun confiscation scheme goes forward.
As you've seen, we have already taken action in that regard. We told the municipalities, no, you can't have a handgun ban. That is not municipal jurisdiction. We told the RCMP, no, you cannot participate in the confiscation scheme. We've told our sheriffs that. We have told municipal forces. We're working right now on what a legislative framework for an Alberta firearms license would look like. And we're going to fight it out because property and civil rights are our jurisdiction under Section 91 of the Constitution.
You know, I keep hearing the Canadian government call this draconian initiative a buyback program, and I gotta laugh. Because how exactly can the government buy back something that it never owned in the first place? That's not a buyback. That's a forced seizure with a gift card attached to it. And they've got the nerve to insist that it is voluntary. Voluntary? Really? Because last time I checked, if you refuse to hand over your legally purchased property, you're suddenly a criminal. And then they say, no, it's just about public safety. But let's be real. When you've got the full weight of the federal government threatening to take away your guns, your money, and maybe even your freedom, there's nothing voluntary about that. Call it what it is. Confiscation. Plain and simple.
Mr. Speaker, the gun registry, what the government is doing with the gun registry is putting in place a much more efficient way, an efficient way for Canadians to voluntarily return prohibited firearms, for fair compensation. This government is going to do it right.
Here's what drives me crazy. The same government that lets repeat violent offenders out on bail the same day is laser focused on making sure your neighbor down the road can't keep his hunting rifle. They tell us it's about protecting Canadians. But if that was true, why are the people actually causing the violence walking free while law-abiding gun owners get treated like criminals? It's completely backwards. And maybe that's the point. A population that's disarmed isn't safer. It's weaker, more dependent, and way easier to control. They know exactly what they're doing. If you can't protect yourself, if you've got no choice but to rely on Ottawa for safety, well, guess what? You'll obey whatever rules they come up with. That's not about reducing crime. It's about reducing resistance. And that's why they want your guns more than they want to lock up actual criminals. Think about that.
With the federal gun buyback program piloting in Nova Scotia, some Alberta gun owners hope it at least leads to clarity on how the program is going to play out. But in the province, it's not a very popular program, even with the Alberta government introducing legislation to try to prevent the federal government from taking restricted firearms from legal gun owners.
Obviously, there's growing pains, and they're introducing it as a pilot project in the east. So hopefully they can resolve those growing pains, and we'll see how it progresses. Good morning, P&D.
Chris Gaberski owns this central Edmonton gun shop. He estimates sales revenue dropped by 60% since Ottawa introduced the buyback program and banned 1,500 assault-style firearms in 2020. That program will reopen for businesses in a few weeks.
We're just in the midst of deciding exactly how we're going to proceed with it, but we are currently sitting on inventory.
Some feel the program targets legal gun owners while not having an impact on the illegal gun market.
It's irresponsible. It's a waste of time and money. It's to try to control the criminal action on the wrong spot. What you got to do, you got to keep the criminal in jail.
The Edmonton Police Service confirms it does not plan to take part in the program based on current staffing and resources.
Hey, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to be notified every time a new video is published, hit the subscribe button and activate the notifications bell. It's completely free and it helps our channel grow. A heartfelt thank you to all our channel members. I really appreciate your support. See you all in the next one. Peace.